head 36 hours from a tar road in one of the most inhospitable and remote corners of southern Africa. With no satellite phone, no support vehicle, and absolutely no company. I thought I was there to explore this famous desert, but it turned more into a journey of self-discovery.
Trying to get the shot. Wow, look how beautiful that is.
So I'm heading to the Kgalagadi, which is really, really exciting. Roland from My Life in Africa sent a message to a group I'm on saying that there's an incredible Kgalagadi trip that someone's no longer able to make. And if you guys know me at all, you'll know that I can't resist an adventure. So I said yes, and now I am heading north to the Kgalagadi. It's all very last minute, so I'm less prepared than I normally would be. Did manage to get a couple of things sorted on the car though. I need extra fuel for this trip because it's very remote. GoBX very kindly gave us a new swing arm with a dual jerry can carrier, which is awesome. So that means I can now carry 4 jerry cans of fuel, which is 80 liters, plus Jabari's tank, which is 80 liters as well, and the long range tank, which is 45 liters. So that gives me just over 200 liters of diesel, which should be perfect for what I need. But I am solo, and solo tends to mean that I talk to the camera more often because I've got nobody else to talk to. So you guys are gonna have to put up with some of my mad ramblings, and hopefully we find some of the large black-maned predators that are famous for that area and whose name I don't even want to say in case I jinx it. But yeah, let me stop rattling away. Let me drive north. I have a very long drive. Today I have to drive all the way to the edge of the park, which I'm expecting to be about 10.5 to 11 hours. It's about 1,000 kilometers. And then tomorrow morning, as the gates open, I've got to get into the park, and then I'm driving the whole way across the park. And it's only about 350 Ks, But as anyone that's done this kind of travel knows, 350 km on a bad road is a lot of driving. So I have 2 really horrible days basically. But yeah, I'm definitely not complaining, and I'm really excited, and I hope you guys enjoy this episode. I'm in the Karoo now, and it is raining, and not just like a little bit of rain, it's really raining, which is quite incredible. This is one of the most dry regions in South Africa. So to drive through it while it's raining is really cool. And last time I was in the Kalahari, there was actually a thunderstorm, which is exceptionally rare. So this is I'm taking this as a good sign of things to come.
11 hours and 1,100 kilometers after leaving Cape Town, I get to my campsite on the edge of the park.
All done. Time for a quick shower, then I'm gonna climb in there and get an early night. Been a long day. So I am in the Kgalagadi National Park. Finally, it's awesome.
Kgalagadi is a Tswana word meaning a waterless place. The reserve has been called the Kgalagadi since 2000, when South African and Botswanan reserves officially became one Transfrontier Park. Both of the former reserves date back to the 1930s. The Kgalagadi Transfrontier Park spans 38,000 square kilometers and lies between Botswana and South Africa in the southwestern corner of the Kalahari Desert, creating a refuge for desert-adapted wildlife.
Spoke to the security guard at the gates. He asked me where I was going, and he said I don't have enough time to do that in the day. So today is very much a driving day. You know, Murphy's Law, normally I find when I have to rush through a park, I end up having the most insane sightings that I have to then skip over. But yeah, I'm in the park, I'm so excited, I can feel the stress melting off my shoulders as I get into the bush. It's just the most incredible feeling. I love it so much. But yep, I am in the Kgalagadi, and I'm super happy that I'm in the Kgalagadi. I'll let you guys know how the rest of the drive goes. Looks like there's 3 or 4 cheetah busy feeding. I'm not sure what they're feeding on. They're facing in other directions. It's not a brilliant angle to see them. Cheetah is something really synonymous with the Kalahari, so awesome to see them so soon on the trip. It is a real pity though that I have to keep moving, unfortunately. I'd love to spend some time with them again, but yeah, I knew this was going to happen.
Bring tourism to Egypt, maybe clear, because like this is a sensitive topic. These people, you know what I mean? I'm not dissing
I'm
Egypt
bored and I'm listening to podcasts.
or the people running the show. I would love to work with them. I have my own little ideas.
Driving, I want to explore.
But
There is regular pumped water the whole way on the SA side, which creates a major focal point for the animals in this desert environment, so it's a real shame to have to skirt straight past it.
So I just left Nassau. It's the last point in South Africa. It's basically in the middle of the park. I now have to head all the way up to the north. I really wouldn't recommend putting together an itinerary like this, but it wasn't meant to be done like this. There were meant to be 2 stop-offs on the way up. I did chat to them about the night that I have in the middle. So basically now I'm heading into the northern part of the reserve, which is in Botswana, and I'm heading to the northwestern edge of the reserve. And there's a whole loop there with a whole bunch of camps that you can stay at on the Botswana side. But then there's also a famous side which is to the northeast of the reserve, which is called Mabua, which is also really, really cool. And I've got 5 nights booked there as well. So basically I have a week up to the north here, then I come back to Nosib for a night, which I managed to book now, which is great. And then I head to the eastern side, which is also really cool, and I'll do a wilderness trail on that side. So now that was my last touch with civilization for the next week, basically. I also noticed on the GPS that our total travel time lost in Africa just passed 1,000 hours. I don't know if you guys remember, you'd have to be pretty dedicated watchers if you do, but after 1,000 kilometers, our first 1,000 kilometers, when we were still in Botswana, before COVID was even a thing, me and Bianca stopped and celebrated it, and we had a tin of tin spaghetti. We had a tin of tin spaghetti. We had tin spaghetti to celebrate it, so I bought some tin spaghetti at Nosib, and I'll have some a little bit later when I get hungry to celebrate 1,000 hours of time in Jabari. So that's 42,000 kilometers, I think it's at now. I'm just gonna check quickly. 45,000 kilometers we've done in the last 23 months, and it's 1,000 hours travel time. So that's pretty amazing, and it's just absolutely spectacular. Look at this place. It is so beautiful.
Those of you that have watched the channel from the beginning, you might remember that Bianca and I had a tin of spaghetti to celebrate the first 1,000 kilometers in Jabari. At the time we didn't know it, but that was the beginning of 24 months on the road, over 60,000 kilometers during the pandemic, telling beautiful conservation stories, exploring the Okavango, exploring Kruger, exploring Mozambique, and trying to show people the magic of Africa. I may be doing it solo now, but I will never regret anything that has happened, and really believe that through Lost in Africa I have found my purpose.
So we got a little bit stuck in Marami. I don't think it's actually that deep. I think I got pulled into some other tracks and they were really deep there by the trees. But let's see, we've dug some sand tracks in underneath it. Hopefully we can just drive them straight out.
So cheers to 1,000 hours on the road in Jabari, Lost in Africa. Minus Bianca this time, unfortunately. I am missing her. Yeah, man.
Time to get back on the road. This last section of road is by far the worst we've been on. It's terrible. I'm struggling to maintain 25 k's an hour. So looks like we're gonna get into camp just before cutoff time. Been a long, full day of driving. Still got an hour and 45 minutes to go, presuming that I can maintain 25 k's an hour, which has been difficult going on this road. Yeah, it's just super corrugated, and also quite thick sand, so yeah, just a bad combination. I'm also just really tired. I would strongly recommend not doing what I've done.
Testing, there you go. Oh my goodness. Wow, that was quite a drive. 23 hours later, if you include yesterday. Done about 1,400 kilometers. Is it worth it? I'm not sure. I'll tell you tomorrow, but I think it might be. And this level of isolation is just incredible. There's absolutely nothing here. They're not lying when they say it's a campsite with no facilities. There are no facilities. There's like a tiny little fireplace and a bit of a clearing. That's it. There's not even much of a clearing. I thought of looking for another campsite with a bigger clearing just for security reasons. And security from animals, not people. Don't worry. I haven't seen any people. I've seen almost no people. Have I seen anyone since Nosib? Yeah, I saw one car since Nosib. So I've seen one car in the last 5 hours, and that was on the main road. I've seen nothing since I turned off that main road. But yeah, I'm here now. Managed to make it just before the sun went down, which is awesome. I don't have to set up my camp in the dark, but I do need to now quickly set up camp, get the iCamper out, and light a fire, because I need a fire because there are lots of predators in this area. So I need to deter them from coming to investigate. Cheers guys, to a real long journey, but a good one, to this incredible spot that I find myself in. Good morning guys. I woke up in paradise. I got a cup of coffee. Oh, it's still hot. Doing a time lapse of the sun rising over the camp. Been pretty lazy this morning. Normally I'm in a bit of a rush to get out and get into the bush, but I figured after the last 2 days I could take it a little bit easy for a change. But I will pack up camp now and head out into the park and see what we can find. I've already seen some gemsbok from camp. I checked the trail cam last night. There wasn't much in camp. There's a scrub hare that came through a couple of times, which is a little bit reassuring as well, because your first night of solo camping when you're somewhere that's remote can be a little bit daunting, and your mind plays tricks on you. And I convinced myself a couple of times that there was a predator in camp, but there was nothing, so I must just relax and enjoy myself. Obviously be cautious and be careful, but have some fun as well. But yeah, gonna head out into the park now for my first proper day, for my first day where I'm not just trying to crush out kilometers. So I'm really, really excited for that. Cheers. This is my first big game sighting of the day. Beautiful herd of gemsbok. They're known as oryx in a lot of the world, but in South Africa we call them gemsbok. I think it might be an Afrikaans name. But they're incredible, beautiful black, white, and grey animals with these long, thin, beautiful horns. They're one of my favorite antelope, and I think they're quite underrated. I think they're so beautiful. But yeah, nice sighting.
Also saw a jackal with her cubs. I presume it's a her with her cubs in the road. Just up the road, I got one very quick shot, but they ran away. The animals are quite skittish around the vehicle, which I didn't expect. I thought they'd be pretty relaxed. But yeah, I managed to get one quick shot of the jackals. I can actually hear her crying now. I retraced my steps and found those jackal again. They're still looking for their pup, but in case the pup is hiding because of me, I'll get out of there. But animals generally have an incredible way of locating each other in the bush when they get separated, so I'm not too worried about it, and neither should you, despite how sad that jackal cry sounds. It really is a haunting noise. You hear it quite often in camp in the evenings as well. They just, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know that much about jackal, but if I'm not mistaken, they just use it to locate each other. But yeah, I also need to start covering a little bit of ground, because even though I have a relatively short drive today, it's taken me about 2 hours to do 10 kilometers. Just because I keep on stopping and just enjoying the bush and taking photos of birds, and there flies a zazu, a yellow-billed hornbill. Let's see if I can get it up. No, he flew.
After the longest 39 kilometers of my life and most of the day driving, I make it to Swartpan. Other than the vast expanse of the pan with no trees, there is not much to set it apart from the rest of the terrain, and certainly not a drop of water. This is real isolation. The magnitude of my isolation really starts to play on my mind. I'm already a full day's drive from any kind of civilization, and another day from a hospital or tar road, and I'm going further. A mistake out here could have dire consequences. I've got so much time with my own thoughts that I really start to question everything. Nothing is too well buried not to be brought up. Staying sane out here is a dance with my inner demons.
So I am having a little braai for lunch, but interestingly enough, I've noticed that brewing in the background. We might be in for a Kalahari storm, which would be, I mean, generally I'd say not ideal to have rain while you're camping, but rain in the Kalahari is always a blessing. So I'm not gonna complain, and I'll make the best of it. You can get some really interesting photos in the rain, and I'm not really camping with the high camper. It doesn't count as camping. Just pop it up so I get that nice and quickly. Yeah, there's a wind picking up as well now as well. Might be in for a storm.
This part of the Kalahari is not truly a desert, with approximately 200 millimeters of rainfall annually, but still, if I were to experience a thunderstorm out here, it would be incredibly special.
I think it might just get strong enough to have a quick little shower. It's gonna be freezing cold, but that's okay. Okay, I'm gonna try. No judgment allowed. That was great until it started hailing. I'll try to find a tree to hide Jabari under. That was intense. You're not going to believe what this looks like. This is fucking insane. Excuse my language. Look at this. It looks like it is snowing in the Kalahari. There's a layer of ice on the floor, and I thought I could shower in it.
There are not many people that experience a thunderstorm in the Kalahari, but even fewer that experience snow.
I brought Jabari in underneath that tree that I'm meant to be camping under, just to give her a bit of protection. You know, I'm meant to park under trees during storms, but this hail's quite big and it's smashing the car, and I'm scared it might get bigger. So at least there's something slowing down the hail a little bit before it hits the car. Oh, you can hear the noise though, it's still terrible. And to make matters worse, I'm naked. There is a solid layer of ice on the floor right now. Amazing. How ridiculous is this? I can't believe it. Maybe I got some superpowers that I wasn't aware of, because I was hoping for the rain to rain hard enough that I could shower. Maybe I did a little rain dance there by mistake. How mental. I can't believe it. Madness. Look at my campsite. It was dry and desolate earlier. Now it looks like it snowed. It's the craziest thing ever.
Yesterday, there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now, there's something in the air, and a sparkly shimmer on our skin, restoring everything within.
And to get some photos with all that ice, it was insane. But it's melted as fast as it fell, basically. Along. The sun's coming out now, so we're gonna have some more beautiful shots, I guess. Insane day. Sometimes I feel like if you open yourself up to the universe, things just happen. If you allow it, if you're available for it, sometimes the most incredible experiences happen. Yeah, I'm not going to get too deep. It snowed in the Kalahari while I was here. It snowed in the Kalahari because of me, because of my rain dance. Not just while I was here, but because of my rain dance, it snowed in the Kalahari.
day. There was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane. And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise. And now there's something in the air and a sparkly shimmer on our skin.
Almost as if it had never happened. The desert's gone back to being a desert. It's piping hot again. But there's a little bit of standing water. And there's a couple of little guys, like him, that are taking advantage of it and getting a drink, because they obviously don't get drinks very often. I don't want to disturb them too much. Let me move away again. Other than straight after the rain, I've seen absolutely no water. There are some disused solar pumps, but nothing that seems to work, and as a result, I've seen very few animals. There will still be animals here, but they are at a very low density, and in this vast wilderness, my chances of finding them are very slim. The car loop is beautiful and barren and desolate, and made me do some serious soul searching, but it's definitely not animal dense, and won't be until Botswana parks fix those solar pumps. Sunrise on another beautiful day in the Kgalagadi. I just wanted to take a moment to appreciate how cool it is that I'm able to travel like this and do it in this incredible vehicle. And with the modern technology that we have today, it's so easy. When I used to overland with my parents, which is now a long time ago, it's 30 years ago, and give away my age a bit there, but hey. When I used to overland with my parents, we had none of these luxuries. We had things that could be powered by gas we'd have, but even then, not that much. And it all just used to get thrown in the back of a Bucky. You just get thrown in the back of a Hilux. My dad always had Hiluxes. We had nothing. The idea of if I wanted to be able to use a hairdryer out here, I could use a microwave out here with that EcoFlow 1400. It's mind-boggling, and at the same time, I've got ice the whole trip. I've got ice. I've got frozen meat in the car. I've got frozen meals that I could spend when she's in that. When she's set up, like when we drove out of Nosop the other day, that's set up. I could very easily survive for probably 3 weeks, maybe a month. And then if I'm conservative and I try and source some water from the land and some food from the land, you can survive indefinitely. I need solar. I don't have solar at the moment. I'd love to get solar. And then once I have that, I'd also have electricity the entire time. At the moment, my electricity, it all recharges off my alternator effectively. So by driving, I'm recharging all of my power points. But that means I am using diesel. Whereas if I had nice solar panels, then I wouldn't even need to use diesel to recharge my electricity. But yeah, in that beautiful vehicle over there, I have an entire house and almost completely self-sustained. The only thing I have to add is diesel, and because I can carry so much of the diesel now, I don't even have to do that very often. But yeah, I thought that was just something worth mentioning on this very quiet day in the park. I'm out in the middle of bloody nowhere, but it's beautiful.
I'm still enjoying it. I hope you guys are as well. I'm at Swartpan. This is the Kalahari. There's nothing here. It's incredible. Yay! I finally got a steenbokkie to stay still long enough to get me a shot. They're my favorite little antelope. Well, one of my favorite antelope, but they're very little. They're beautiful. They're often in pairs. This one seemed to be by itself. Absolutely beautiful and really nice to have something not just hair away from me in the other direction. And yeah, we've got still got quite a lot of driving to do, so let me get back to it. Brief moment of sun in the storm. Look at that. Massive storm clouds coming over again. I'm going to set up camp now. It looks like we might have another afternoon storm despite the beautiful sunlight on me right now. It's just a little gap in the clouds. So it does look like there might be another big storm this afternoon, so I won't set up a full camp. I'm just going to pop open the iCamper, make a fire. I want to try and cook the dinner that I was meant to have last night. So I'm going to set up camp for the night. I'm not sure if you guys can hear me with this wind. And then maybe we'll see, depending on what happens with the storm in the background. Might do a little bit of work, might go for another drive. I'm tempted to go for a walk. I've been walking around the park so much just to clear the road and stuff, but I got to keep reminding myself there are lions in this reserve, and there are quite a lot of them. So mustn't get too casual just because I've been forced out of the car a lot and the campsites are unfenced, but yeah. I will fill you guys in with how my afternoon progresses. The first step to having a comfortable night's sleep in your rooftop tent is to get the tent flat. People often overlook it, but it's so important. I sleep so much better if I get a nice flat bed. If you're sleeping at a bit of an angle, or you're leaning over, or your feet are down. Feet are down is not so bad, but if your head is below your feet, it's very uncomfortable. You'll wake up in the morning, you'll be absolutely exhausted, and you won't know why. So on my iPhone, on all iPhones, there's an app called Measure, and if you go from the measure to the right, there's a level tool, and so you can use this as a spirit level without having to carry one. So I've already leveled the tent, but I'll just show you. Whoops, daisy. So you see, green means good. And got a check in both planes. Green and green, which is awesome. Let me just quickly show you how I level the tent. So this is a little trick that I've learned on the road. My grip and goes, which are my sand tracks, work really well for this purpose, actually, believe it or not, because they've effectively got 3 different levels because they're folded in thirds. So I've got a double on the front, no, I've got a single on the front and a double at the back. So I have different heights front and back. So the front is lifted a little bit less than the back is, and that managed to get me my perfect level. Just a little trick that I use, and I find it really, really helps. am busy experiencing my second Kalahari hailstorm. How crazy. So far not as bad as the last one, hopefully it stays that way. I am in the tent this time, so we'll get to see how it holds up. So far so good though. Just makes a lot of noise when the hail hits the fiberglass on the roof. Yo. But yeah, how mad? 2 hailstorms in the desert. It has not stopped raining. It's really pumping down now, and it's shaking the iCamper. Gap between the storms, wouldn't believe it. It was absolute chaos just now. Felt like a hurricane was hitting. You hear the lightning still. I packed up the iCamper as best I can. I can't get the legs in. I'm going to try again now while there's a small gap. But otherwise I'm sitting in the car for most of this. I actually got my laptop and the cars and everything. But yeah, chaos. And it was boiling hot today. Madness. Sure. No words. I managed to pack up the iCamper and a break in the storm. The storm's just swirling. It looks like it's coming from the other direction again now. Last time I came from that side, so I had the tent, the strongest side of the tent, which is the shell, facing in that direction. Then it swirled around and it came from the exact opposite direction. Massive storm, huge wind, rain, hail. My campsite's flooding. Chaos. But I got the tent down and I'm in the car and my laptop's in the car and all will be good. Kalahari's certainly putting me to a stern test, that's for sure. Goodness gracious. I was just about ready to go to sleep and watch a movie. Craziness. Holy crap. Yo, massive storm. I'll show you guys the storm now. It looks like it's coming around for a third time, but in this little break between, A, we get a magic sunset. How bizarre. And B, I managed to pack up. So everything's tied down, iCamper is secured again, all the camera equipment's back inside the car. So thank goodness there was a gap in the storm. I was soaked. I just been trying to make sure that all the camera gear was okay, and that my laptop was okay, and everything's okay. But yeah, absolutely ridiculous. The Kalahari certainly isn't letting up on me. Let me show you the size of the storm, just so you can get an idea of how hectic it is. There's the wide angle. You can get a better idea. So that's come over me twice already. So it came around from this side, and it came around from this side. Let's see if it does a third pass. Oh, it goes all the way around there, you can see. Mega, mega, mega Kalahari thunderstorm, wow. An insanely beautiful sunset on the other side. That leading edge over there is a solid wall of water there. It's about to smash back into me. And there goes the sun. Crazy ass day, what the hell? And it's probably going to be spent, the rest of it is probably going to be spent sitting in the front seat of the car, hoping that we don't blow away or that the windows don't break from the hail. This is ridiculous. This is not what I expected from the Kalahari. That storm behind Jabari is a monster. That is so nuts. And I'm 25 hours from a tar road. Give or take a little bit. I can probably go faster in an emergency, but not a huge amount faster. 25 hours from anything, and based on car tracks and the state of the roads and how many people I've seen, I don't think there's anyone within hours of me. Mad. Really, really out in the elements in the middle of the Kalahari. It's insane. But what an incredible experience as well. This is one of those ones where I hope everything works out okay, because it'll be a great story afterwards. This is hectic. And that storm is closing in rapidly. So I moved the car again, try to account for the way the storm's moving. Honestly, I don't think it's going to matter when the storm hits, because it's swirling so much. You can even, when you watch it now, you can even see it. It's going like this the whole time. It's just churning away. It's quite insane, actually. It doesn't look like it's come closer to me, so I don't know. I don't want to get my hopes up, but with that movement that I saw, that I thought was it coming back around, it could have just been that maybe it's just zigzagging across the landscape. I'm not sure. For a while it definitely looked like it was coming over me. Now it seems like it hasn't come any closer again, so I'm going to be in for a long, probably pretty sleepless night, I suspect, because, you know, if I knew the direction it was coming in, I'd have no problem being comfortable setting up the tent again. The iCamper is strong. I've had it set up in very strong winds, but the key is to have the strong side, so the part that flaps open, so this side, so if it flaps open here, this side must be pointing into the wind, because then there's braces that you can put on the struts and everything will be fine. What happened this afternoon is that, so the iCamper goes like this, and then the floor here folds out, bloop, and then you get that igloo that's on the top. So here's your strongest point. By far your weakest point is the mouth of the igloo, and the storm hit this way and then came back over and hit the mouth of the igloo, and it felt like it was trying to rip the whole thing off the roof. I don't know if it would have. Maybe everything would have been fine, but it was pretty hectic. So I got out of there at the first moment I could and packed it up, and now here we are.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
So I'm back in the tent. It is wet on the inside, not sodden through, but it was to be expected. But it's not that bad, and it's certainly better than spending the night in the car. I'm 6'5", so sleeping in a car for a night is not a fun task for me to do. That storm seems to have moved off completely.
And as the light startled our eyes, we let go of disguise.
I mean, does it come back? Who knows? That one I don't think will. So I took a gamble and I set up the iCamper again quickly. It's not fun. There's a reason you don't want to set up camp after dark in Botswana, because the campsites are unfenced, and we all know that the big predators all like to start hunting early evening. So to be busy setting up a tent without anyone watching my back, you know, and even though I've got a spotlight and I've got a torch and I keep on checking, it is nerve-wracking. You feel like something's watching you, something's stalking you, something's coming up behind you.
And now there's something in the air.
Yeah. Kind of hoping tomorrow's a little bit more boring. We can just I'll just do time lapses of trees and stuff. It'll be awesome. Yeah. Anyway, let me get some sleep. Good night, guys. Good night, guys. Good night, guys. Sorry, I don't know whether. Good night, guys.
Restoring everything within.
So after I last spoke to you guys, another storm came over, but not nearly as bad. So I just sat it out and it was all good. This morning the weather's a little bit better. There's still some clouds in the sky and it's quite cool. So I don't know if there's more weather maybe expected a bit later. So I'm just going to take advantage of the decent weather and I'm drying out a whole bunch of stuff. You can see the iCamp is wide open to dry out. I got the mattresses out. I got a little washing line set up over there. I even had a shower, and a proper shower, not a rainstorm shower. I've got a little 12-volt shower, so I had a shower this morning. So feeling all good and fresh. A little bit of a lazy morning around camp. Got a kettle going. I might even make some oats or something. Just chill a bit. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what my plan is. I'm just gonna kind of take it as it comes, and maybe go for a drive or just relax in camp. I'm not sure. As soon as I know, I'll let you know. Coffee first, and then some breakfast, and then I'll figure out the rest. Yeah, man.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain, beauty in the mundane.
After my very casual day in camp, come on a game drive now, and within less than a K of camp, there are lion tracks walking down the road back towards where I've just come from. They look very fresh. I'm not an expert tracker. Looks like two big male lions. I'm not an expert tracker. They're 100% subsequent to the rain. So the last set of rain was probably at about 1 in the morning. So it would have been this morning at the earliest. But it could have been more recent. They could have. It's very, very hot right now. So I doubt it's them that they'd be moving right now. Oh. Bunch of birds of prey in front of me as well. Let me go investigate quickly. What I was going to say is I doubt that they'd be moving in this heat, so it's more likely that it was earlier this morning and that they've bedded down somewhere. So they may have bedded down between here and my camp. It's a little bit hard to tell. I just saw a couple of birds of prey taking off from the ground here somewhere, so I just want to go down a little bit more before I double back to see if I can follow these lion tracks, see how far they go. But yeah, very casual in camp, sitting at my desk, completely unfenced. Two big male lions in the area. That's a lappet-faced vulture, and I think the one next to it's a white-backed vulture. So that's more evidence if we're detectives trying to find these predators. That's definitely more evidence. I haven't seen many vultures at all, so to see that one in particular, lappet-faced is, if I'm not mistaken, it's the biggest vulture we get in Africa. It's an incredibly powerful bird. Quite often the other vultures have to wait for a lappet face to get to a carcass because it's the only one that's able to actually rip through the leather, rip through the skin.
So yeah, that's a positive sign. And they're not feeding on anything. It's like they're hanging back, which is what they would do if there were predators nearby on a kill. So let's keep going a little bit further along this road. I did forget how terrible this road is, so I don't want to go too much further, but being as hot as you can see it is, and I think my phone's going to shut down, it's so hot. Being as hot as you can see it is, if they are lying in the area, they won't be moving. They'll be in shade. So I'm literally just driving, looking under trees. That's all I'm doing at the moment. So let's see if I have any luck. The game, unfortunately, just I think I'm still paying off that bush karma for skipping past that cheetah kill. But yeah, it is really, really beautiful, and I love being out here no matter what. Driving along, windows open, it's cooled down a little bit, so now it's only hot, it's no longer unbearably hot, and it's just so beautiful. And now, because we are driving due west basically, the sun will go down in front of us, so that should be really, really pretty. Wow. This place is so beautiful, it's ridiculous. So I just wanted to say, sometimes I worry that it comes across that I'm only out here to look at animals. That's really not the case. Obviously I always want to find amazing sightings. A big part of that reason is because then I feel like I have something to show you guys. But a drive like tonight where I saw practically nothing, I would do it every night of my life if I could. It's so beautiful out there, and to be out in a place like this and to not have seen another human for 5 days, and not even close to another human. I mean, I think the furthest point of my drive today, I was probably still at least 2 hours from anyone, and that's even if there's anyone in that camp. There may well not be. So to be able to spend a week out here in this incredible wilderness is just unreal. I think we're spoiled sometimes. Not we're spoiled. I'm spoiled sometimes. And I start thinking that something like this is normal, and this is not normal. This is absolutely unreal. Way fewer people are able to do what I'm doing right now, and I truly feel blessed to be able to. Rant over. The insane sunset. It's just really, really special. So yeah, let's just enjoy this view. Again, it's unreal. And thank you guys for watching, and thank you for supporting the channel. And hit that like button and hit subscribe if you haven't already, please. It's the easiest way for me to keep doing things like this. So if you've enjoyed watching me do all of the madness that I've done in the last 5 days, then share it and subscribe and all of that. I really appreciate it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Looking forward to tomorrow and a bit of a change of scenery and a bit of a change of pace. We've got 2 very long driving days ahead of me again, but then off to the eastern edge of the Kgalagadi on the Botswana side, which I'm really excited for. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.